Hey everybody, what's going on? James here with Heavyweight Politics, and get this. A doctor who has not just served Trump, but also served in the Obama administration, so non-partisan doctor who served in the White House, is now predicting Joe Biden will either resign or be forcibly removed from office because of how mentally inept he truly is. He's saying that there's something totally wrong with Biden, as I think we all be honest, kind of know, and that before he gets done with his term, he will be removed from office. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Biden might be mentally not there, but he still is probably better than Kamala ever will be, right? Kamala didn't even get 1% of the vote, and for good reason. After Tulsi Gabbard just nuked her, she never stood a chance. And I'll be honest, I kind of think I'd rather have Biden than Kamala. At least Biden's gaffes are funny, while Kamala's laughter is just nightmare fuel, to say the very least, right? So, not sure how I feel about it, but let's get into the article here from The Hill. Ronny Jackson, former White House doctor, predicts Biden will resign. So, Representative Ronny Jackson from Texas, the controversial former White House physician, of course they gotta say that, even though he served both Obama and Trump, on Thursday said he believes President Biden will resign because of his limited cognitive abilities. During an episode of Fox's Hannity, where host Sean Hannity criticized responses Biden gave during his CNN town hall the day before, calling some completely incomprehensible. Now I know what he's talking about, incomprehensible.
And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway too. I expect that to occur quickly.
I mean, if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. But either way, in an interview with Jackson, Hannity said Biden would not perform well on a cognitive test, repeating a claim circulated among Republicans that the president's health is in decline. This is not just circulated by Republicans, all right? Let's get one thing straight here. My friends who don't even give a damn about politics, who do not care one bit, still say, yeah, Biden ain't all there. These are people who are the most independent of independent. These are the people who either don't vote or just vote whoever, the culture tells them to vote for, so typically Democrats, unfortunately. But even they'll admit Biden is not there, right? He is not there. So this is not just a Republican thing, one bit. So Donald Trump took a cognitive test. He got 30 out of 30 right. I hear it's a very difficult test. I do not think Joe Biden would do well on the test. Is that a fair assessment based on what I'm observing? Hannity asked. Absolutely, Sean. And I've been saying this from the very beginning. I've been saying that something's going on here. I was saying this when he was candidate Joe Biden, and I've been saying that it's only going to get worse. And guess what? We're watching that happen right before our eyes now, Jackson said. And totally true, right? It is getting worse. I mean, it was already pretty bad when he first started. He was already saying some crazy things, but now he's talking about drinking children's blood, for God's sake.
We are not defunding the police.
And are there people who, in the Democratic Party, who want to defund the president?
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
I'm not sure. Are there people in the Democratic Party who want to defund the president?
So Jackson also tweeted a video of Biden answering a reporter's question, saying he's just completely lost it and needs a cognitive exam now. Jackson, who was the White House physician for former President Trump and Obama, circulated a letter in June calling for Biden to take a cognitive test to prove he was mentally fit to perform his duties as president, which was signed by more than a dozen Republicans. However, Jackson has been steeped in controversy after comments he has made regarding Trump's health during a White House briefing in 2018. He called Trump's diet excellent, even though Trump regularly ate fast food and did not exercise. Let's face it, when it comes to how a lot of the medical world considers an excellent diet, they typically just look at calorie count anyway. I mean, he's like 6'6"? Like, he's a tall dude, 6'4", something like that. He's about my height, I know. We can eat a lot of calories and still be within our calorie limit pretty easily, but yeah, he probably doesn't have an excellent diet. But his diet is pretty interesting. He only eats fast food because it's the food he trusts the most, which I find bizarre. But hey, I mean, he's still kicking better than Biden is. I'll give him that. White House officials said in May that Biden was scheduled to take an annual physical exam later this year and said that they would make the results publicly available. So, here's question number one we got to ask ourselves. For one, if Biden is mentally incompetent, do you really think they are going to do something about it? In all seriousness, do you? I know we like to joke about Kamala Harris being like ready with a knife to stab him in the back, but in all honesty, do we really think they're going to remove him before his term is up? What signal does that say to the rest of the country, right? It seems very unlikely, in my opinion, that he actually will be removed simply due to the fact of it proves Trump right, and they will never acknowledge Trump is right about anything, right? Trump could say, you know what, I think we should drink 2 liters of water every single day, and they'll say, no, you gotta have some soda in the diet, you gotta have some beer in your diet, because they will never give Trump any credit for saying anything correct at any time. I mean, the man literally, he literally attacked white supremacy more than any other president in the history of this country, just about. Simply due to the fact he was asked that question so many times. And how many times did they ever give him credit for saying how evil white supremacy is? He said it countless times. He said countless times, white supremacy and Nazism is the worst things ever, and they should be condemned totally. Never gave him any credit for it, right? They kept asking him as if he was a supporter of it. They never want Trump to be right about anything. So do you really think they're going to remove Biden and prove Trump right about what he said about Biden's health? I personally don't think so, right? I really think they'll hide him in the back room as long as they can and wait till 2024 and then say, you know what? He got what he wanted done, and that's it. He's ready just to sail off into that sunset, right? I really don't see them removing him from office. With that said, however, they did want a Kamala Harris presidency. You saw the way the media just fawned over her during the election cycle, right? I mean, they went head over toes for her, right? They went crazy for her. And it wasn't until Tulsi Gabbard really attacked her and until the people saw just how unlikable she truly was. And even then, the media still talked her up like crazy. And they went on and on about, how great it would be to have the first minority woman president. And that's what they kept building up to, because they love their first. They love having a first of something. And they'll make up first if they can't find one, right? I mean, with Elizabeth Warren, they made up the fact she's Native American. So they love having their first ever. So maybe they would try to move her in just so they can say right before the elections happen, hey, look, she was the first ever woman president and the first ever minority woman president at that, even though she was never fully elected into office. And they might try to work with that to move her in to hopefully run again in 2024. So sure, there's a chance. But I'm still banking, if I still had to bet, I'm still betting that Biden actually serves out the rest of his term. After maybe about a year or two, he gets pushed to the back. We never hear from him much at all. And they just hide him away as much as they can until his term is up. Then he'll say, you know what, throughout my years, Kamala's been right here with me. She's done such a great job, and I am supporting her bid for 2024. And that is how they're going to slide her in my opinion. So I don't see him being removed. I see him being hidden. But what do you think? Leave a comment below. Do you really think he's going to be removed before 2024? Unless something horrendous happens, I don't see it. He's already made so many gaffes. I just can't imagine it getting much worse. But either way, we have tons of funny gaffes probably to come in the future, so I am excited about that. If you've enjoyed this video, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again real soon.
What must be what?